Welcome back. Well, computers are wonderful devices that enable us to do so much, but most of us, like myself, are clueless about what's going on under the hood. So Stan Prager from GoGeeks is going to take us inside this computer and show us exactly what's happening. So Stan, you actually assembled this thing on your own.
Yeah, we manufacture computers at GoGeeks, and I happen to have built this one myself. I don't build all of them, but computers are made out of components, essentially, and the components basically need to be put together in order to create this. So what we call this little session today is going under the hood.
All right, let's get in there.
Best way to go under the hood is we take the side off, all right? And once you take the side off, you can see all the cool stuff that's inside. So basically, your computer, the most important component of your computer is this large printed circuit board. Yep, there's a large printed circuit board that's right here.
Gotcha.
And that's the kind of thing, if you're shopping at retail, you're generally not going to get a very good quality version of this, and it's something that you can't easily compare because there's no way to, you're not going to have some 19-year-old kid in the store comparing motherboards. Each PC comes with its board already in it. We manufacture PCs, we choose quality components. That board is what really controls everything else.
That's the brains of the computer, right?
It's more or less the nervous system of the computer, would probably be a better metaphor for it to a human body. It's a nervous system, so it's like you could have the biggest brain, but if you have a problem with the nervous system, the information is not going to travel. So the board is what does that. Then underneath this giant fan that's there, that has the processor. Now the processor, that's the CPU, that's more or less what people have traditionally called the brain. It's kind of a misnomer, but that's like the most important thing. That's what makes everything run. That's what gives all the information around, okay? Then we can go to, along the side here, you see these little sticks in there?
I do see those sticks. What are those sticks?
That's RAM. So when people talk about gigabytes of RAM, that's what they're talking about. RAM is what gives you what's called random access memory that essentially allows you to do multiple things at the same time. Often, the more RAM you have, the more powerful your system is, but RAM is not the only component. For instance, if you have a slow processor and a crummy motherboard, doesn't matter how much RAM you have.
Can you tell these things when people bring in computers and they have computer problems? Yep. Could you lift up the hood, go under the hood of a computer and tell what's wrong with it just by looking at it sometimes? Or most of the time you need to log on and actually?
If it's a hardware issue, yeah. If it's a hardware issue, like if the PC doesn't boot, one of the things we look at is in here. And sometimes the simplest parts inside the computer are the reason it doesn't boot. See this giant thing right here?
Yes, I do. What is that giant thing?
That giant thing is a power supply, which is a transformer, which basically, on your laptop, there's that little square box between the wall and that's what that is. It takes the 110 watts from the wall and 110 volts from the wall and transfers it so that it doesn't blow up your system.
And I'm sure some of these things are fairly cheap fixes, not all of them, but sometimes people might think they have a disaster on their hands and it doesn't turn out to be too bad, right?
That's exactly correct. So that power supply, for instance, that's like an $89 part. Unless if you have a brand computer that uses a proprietary power supply, that's a different story. That can be a lot more expensive. Moving along, that is the hard drive. The hard drive is what stores all the information on your system, and that's what your Windows operating system would be installed on, or if it was a Mac, that's where the operating system goes, plus all your programs, iTunes, plus all your data, your music, your pictures, everything would go on that hard drive, okay?
All right. And then all these wires and stuff. You can look at this and figure out what all the different wires are and
yes,
what they go to?
Yes, well, a lot of the wires that you see popping around here are extras because this is an upgradable system, so we could add other things. Another really important component is this. That's the graphics card. The graphics card is what takes the video and sends it to a monitor. And it also, the better graphics card you have, the better ability you have to play games or run high-end visual programs like Photoshop, things of that nature.
So you guys can personalize these for people if they come in and they say, I want a computer that's really good at gaming, but I don't need such and such. You can tailor-make their computers for them.
We do. We make 3 different lines of computers. We make computers for home, we make them for business, we also make them for gamers, plus we make specialty computers. For instance, I built a computer specifically for a guy who's recording music. And so he has like a $500 sound card on there to record music directly from his guitar onto his computer.
Stan, this is fascinating stuff. I feel like I'm back in college.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's
cool.
Fun.
Maybe we could build you a computer one day.
For free?
Well,
yeah, think about it. Stan Prager from GoGeeks. I got you on the hook now. On TV, saying he's going to get me a free computer. All right, coming up after the break, we are going to talk about